Hello, back again with whether it will be the second, third, or first craft because there are three main ones. So in this case, we are doing a paper plate heart wreath. You can use a paper plate, and a paper plate is okay. I've already cut out. It's the ones that we use for events. So you have a paper plate, or if you don't have a paper plate, you can come up with your own circle, whether with manila paper, embossed paper. You can even use carton, like something firm. So like this, I would reinforce it with others. So basically what we are trying to make is something like this, of which we can hang. So there's that color, and there was this other. So we are basically trying to stick the hearts around a circle that has a gap. So whether you have the paper plate, I looked around and they're not that, like within the supermarkets, they're not easy. Most of them were plastic. So unless you get the birthday ones and that kind of things, but if you don't have the paper plate, you can use any paper firm, and then you're just making a circle, let's say donut shape. You're making a donut shape paper. So you will have your instructions once again, either in paper form or in digital form. So you need luminous paper. Luminous is, let me say, yes. Luminous is this nice colorful paper. For this, it's the yellow. You may see it that way. And you have your paper plate. And then you have ribbon, string. For now, I had this is called twine. This is just your kawaida yarn for the sweaters. You need your pair of scissors. You need your glue stick. You need your heart template. Heart template means it will either be like this. You need to have heart template. So there is that, like those are the different. It will depend with which size of heart you size here, which one you want. So basically these are like this is what I would call the heart template. And then we have a paper punch, kawaida paper punch, or what we call a hole punch. If you're able to have this, you're able to now make holes where it's not accessible for a paper punch, but still a paper punch will work. If you don't have a paper punch or a hole punch, your trusty pencil biro will still do the trick, or even your pair of scissors, and I'll show you how. Okay, and then a pencil to write the names, and just also to help with the craft. So in this case, you get your paper plate, but I want to show you how to make the circle in the middle. And yeah, so I'll use the masking tape that I have. I'll be making a smaller circle than usual. So I trace out a circle, and then I use the bigger, the outer part to trace the outer part of the circle, and then I'm going to use this for the inner, but I might use a different one or just estimate, because yes, I found it. So I will use a smaller, because we are basically making a donut shape. So you have something like that, okay? So with your trusty pair of scissors, you will cut around the outer circle, and I believe with this case, it will not be this small. The effect will not be as not dramatic, as beautiful. Okay, so we have the outer circle. Now when it comes to you cutting this, because if you have the paper plate, depending on your class, if you can cut them before, great. Now, but the trick for this is you fold, like you're just estimating where that inner circle is, okay, like that. And then you snip. You're not being perfect, because it will be hidden by the hearts. You snip a little bit, and you have campaign. Like if you make it a smaller, mine was big. So, and then with that is where you're able to now cut around, and you're able to cut out your donut shape. okay, and voila. So don't mind about this, it will be hidden by the heart. So you're not, and I emphasize with children, it's not about being perfect, it's having fun and trying to see, okay, and you're learning for the first time. So if you make, it doesn't look the way you wanted it, you can try again, okay? So with that in mind, now allow me to use the paper plate. Remember the luminous paper? If you haven't cut out the hearts yet for the children, they themselves can cut out. But the trick is, trace out the heart at the back of the luminous paper, such that even though there's any mess or where you rub it because the heart has not come out nicely, you still have the nice shiny part, okay? So if it's for the older children, instead of you doing it for them, you see like that. Focus. So in one page there are 6 of them. So you will need approximately, from what I've seen, most likely you will need from 10 to 12 of them, depending on the size of the ring or however the children place it. So for faster cutting and everything, for me, I have put the 2 papers, and then now I'm looking for my scissors. The child now cuts out, but because they may not cut out as effectively as I am, 2 by 2. If they can, good, but they can cut out 1 by 1. If not, cut out in advance. So you're basically cutting out the heart shape. So let's just cut, and again, you may not cut as fast as I am. This is from continued practice. So you basically have your hearts, okay? So with that in mind, and because of time, we don't want to have too long a video, we will have now your donut shape, your paper plate. Now to make things easier, you remember when I was saying about the hole punch? When you have done this, when you have cut out the inner circle, where you are going to hang, put the string before, okay? So we have this. You do that, and you do that, and then you put your string through, and then stick the hearts this way, around as much as possible. So with that, I believe once you have the string, you have your craft. And I think with my battery is ending, so I'm hoping that is understandable with your paper heart wreath.